And John Quincy Adams did something that I just can't even get my head wrapped around. He went from being president of the United States to running for Congress. Went from being the man on one end of Pennsylvania Avenue to going to be one of, today it would be one of 535 in the House and Senate both. And he did it for one reason. He wanted to end slavery. He wanted to get rid of slavery. He wanted to make sure that what they did in this room, what his father was part of, would finally apply to all Americans. So he goes home and he runs for Congress, and he gets elected, and he gets in Congress, and he's like a man against the world, man. He's trying to end slavery, and it's a pro-slavery Congress, and he's not getting anywhere. He's literally beating his head against the wall. I mean, he's coming in week after week, month after month, year after year with no results. Now, look, I'm a type A person. I want results. My wife says I'm type AAA. You know, I mean, I go 100 miles an hour, and I want. When I got in the legislature, it drove me nuts that I couldn't change the world overnight. I wanted it all done in one legislative session. It took a while for me to figure out. It takes years sometimes to get big things done. John Quincy Adams understood this. And so when he kept hitting the wall and not getting anywhere, he didn't get frustrated. He just kept coming back. You know that pro-slavery Congress got so frustrated with John Quincy Adams, they passed the John Quincy Adams gag order. They said, Adams, you can talk about anything you want, but we are sick of hearing you talk about getting rid of slavery. You can't even do it anymore. He just keeps coming back week after week, month after month, year after year. 13 years with zero results. Now, can you imagine that? You look at what we're trying to do in our country right now. Can you imagine fighting for more than a decade with no results and still being able to come back and fight more? I don't know how he did. 13 years, no results. A reporter comes to him and says, what is your problem? Why are you doing this? You're not getting anywhere. You're wasting your time. You're wasting my time. You're wasting the Congress's time. You're a waste of time. Why are you doing this? And John Quincy Adams said something I hope you'll adopt as your philosophy as you try to save our country and save freedom for future generations. He said, duty is ours. Results are God's. Duty is ours. Results are God's. He said, I'm just doing my duty. I'm going to leave the results up to God. These guys understood duty. Remember me saying last night, quote after quote after quote, these guys would use that word duty. Duty of nations, duty of individuals, duty, all the time, duty, because they understood it's hard work, but I'm willing to do it because freedom is worth it. John Quincy Adams understood duty is ours, results are God's. Did he get to see an end to slavery in his lifetime? No. 4 years later, after he had that interview, he dies on the floor of Congress, literally in Congress. Actually, he had the stroke on the floor of Congress. They moved him into the Speaker's office, and he died in the Speaker's office. But he dies there in the Capitol, there in Congress. 17 years of fighting, no results. But for 1 2-year term, he served with a kid that he became a mentor to. And he kind of did a brain dump into that kid, taught that kid what he knew. They became very good friends. This freshman member of Congress became very good friends with the president, good enough friends that that freshman member of Congress was a pallbearer at John Quincy Adams' funeral. That kid goes home, doesn't get reelected. Runs for another office, loses, another office, loses, another office, loses. Just keep losing, losing, losing. Finally wins another election. It's almost 15 years later, and Abraham Lincoln becomes President of the United States and implements the same 3-step plan that John Quincy Adams had tried for 17 years to accomplish. Duty is ours, results are God's.